I've recently had to adjust my training volume around an injury, which means I've had to adjust my nutrition accordingly. So in today's video, let's break down what I'm eating the day of a long ride and why. Okay, good morning. So first on the menu today is some overnight oats made with 100 grams of oats, 200 grams of 0% fat Greek yogurt, 200 milliliters of skim milk, 1 scoop of vanilla whey protein powder, some sugar-free vanilla syrup, and some frozen raspberries. And that is that. And delicious it is too. It's just gone 7:30. I'm going to get on the turbo trainer in about 90 minutes at 9 a.m. for about 90 minutes. And along the way, throughout the rest of the day, I'm going to talk you through how I'm eating at the moment, what I'm eating at the moment, and why I'm doing it that way, with a few things that you can take away to apply to your own nutrition as we go. Really excited to build some volume on the bike again and start building towards getting outdoors once my hip can hack it. Ultimately, at the moment, I can't be outdoors on the bike, even though it is a lovely day, because of the impact going up through that stress fracture in my hip. Slowly but surely, we're making progress. I'm just really pleased that there are things that I can focus on at the moment. So let me get my lubricant, as I'm coining this. Give this some time to digest. I'll see you on the bike. What's on the menu for you today, sir? Is it crunchy brown rocks, perhaps? The usual. Pig's actually on a diet at the moment because he's a little too chunky. Sit. High five. Thank you. There you are. Oh, were you expecting a cooked breakfast? Fair. I'd probably feel that way if I'd had the same food every morning for the past 7 years. So today is a simple one, 90 minutes at 182 watts, just building some time in the saddle before I start working in some additional intensity. I've taken the turbo outside today because the forecast was lovely and I thought an inside, outside, outside, inside sort of COVID situation would be very nice, but it's literally just started raining. So the best laid plans and all that, we'll see what happens here. But either way, so far so good. I haven't really focused on any cycling related goals since the double brutal extreme triathlon in 2022, a 473 kilometer double Ironman, which took me a while to recover from psychologically. I'm really looking forward to returning to triathlon. So in some ways, this injury is a bit of a blessing because it forces me to just get my head down and focus on doing the work on the turbo. Anyway, here's my setup for the day. Training Peaks Virtual open in front of me, Peep Show or a podcast available in front of me on the iPad, and everything I need within touching distance. I've got my carbs and electrolytes just here, which means they're readily accessible. I've had a puff of my asthma inhaler. My nether regions are covered in chamois cream. It's time to party. And by party, I of course mean sit at a low intensity on a stationary bike for the next 90 minutes. Well, Scotland's gonna Scotland. This wasn't due until 1 p.m. This is quite novel. I've never sat on a stationary bike in the rain before, so you know what? Let me call out the audience. Have you ever seen somebody foolish enough to sit on a stationary bike in the rain? I'm not sure anyone else is that dumb, but here we are. Like the video to make this all worthwhile. Cheers.
Okay, let's quickly talk about my nutrition at the moment. I'm using a hybrid training specific calorie calculator here, which is still in beta testing but gives me some key parameters to focus on. So I've inputted my details with a much lower than usual step count given my reduced walking volume amidst my hip recovery. I'm lifting less frequently overall as I'm limited to upper body work, and I currently only have one swim or bike session longer than 60 minutes at the moment, with a few swims being only 30 minutes or so. I'm focusing on maintenance and a bit of body recomposition, so I'm fed back these daily calorie targets. From here, I'm currently aiming for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, which equals roughly 205 grams of protein. A little bit higher than usual if you've watched some of my previous videos, which is just due to the slightly increased frequency of upper body weight training and to promote recovery around injury as much as possible. I'm aiming for roughly 0.4 times my body weight in pounds for fat, which equals 82 grams. And then the rest in carbs, which today, for example, where I'm aiming for 3,051 calories, equals around 380 grams of carbs. For intra-workout carbs, at the moment, I'm only really taking them on during my longer rides like today, as I'm still slowly building volume as part of my injury recovery. All in all, pretty simple and consistent for me at the moment, aiming to keep the ship steady as I slowly adjust my volume upwards again. If you want access to this calorie calculator and a free nutrition consultation with our in-house performance nutritionist, Tom, to audit your intake, then head to the link in the description down below.
Okay, 200 meters to go. Data on the screen for the ride just here. Pleased with how that felt, very smooth. My gooch region is definitely taking some getting used to the aggressive position of this tri-bike on the turbo. However, I'm on this rather than my road bike because of the crank length. So obviously with the hip issue, stress fracture specifically, I'm trying not to raise my hip up too high to sort of fold at the joint. So with a slightly shorter crank length, my hip isn't coming up as high. I'm on 155s on this, 165s on my road bike. Most bikes off the shelf would come with 172.5s. So yeah, whilst it's working for my hip, it is a very aggressive position, which means that certain areas are taking a bit of a beating, and I'm looking forward to reinforcing that area with a little bit more time in the saddle. So that's the session. Data on the screen here again as a reminder. I'm going to get showered and have some breakfasty lunch, better known as brunch. Okay, easy 50 kilometers on the turbo complete and a rather delicious looking plate of food secured. I have a sesame bagel with a whole avocado, some cherry tomatoes, some bacon, some fried eggs seasoned with salt and pepper. That's pretty much it. And a black coffee, 22 minutes before my caffeine curfew, so we're cutting it fine. I am living dangerously today. Anyway, dangerous antics aside, I wouldn't normally make something as elaborate as this post-training, but it is a Sunday morning, so I'm taking my time and enjoying the process. At the moment, I'm doing my long, steady rides on Sunday morning, and I'm actually doing a high-volume upper body session on Saturday. Waking up, taking my time, slamming some pre-workout, putting a vest on, putting a pump cover on, going to a commercial gym, and blasting some tunes in my ears with no time restrictions. It has been years since I've done that and just kind of enjoyed the process of shifting tin and feeling like a teenager bro that's getting jacked for the first time again. So I'm really enjoying this combination. What a time to be alive. That is my next meal. Unfortunately, the dogs just have breakfast and dinner. They don't also get a lunch, which I'm sure if they were able to talk on camera, they would protest. But alas, the least I can do is take them for a walk. Thought we had a gap in the rain. We did not. Good evening, everyone. It is just gone 5 p.m. and I'm going to have myself an early dinner. I've not actually eaten anything since we last spoke. We've been busy booking some travel for the rest of the summer around a couple of things that are happening, and we are going to London first thing in the morning tomorrow, driving down, so been packing furiously for a couple of weeks down there. I've got myself a sirloin steak. I'm going to roast some tomatoes with that. I have some asparagus. I thought we had parmesan, which I was going to delicately grate over the top. We do not. So that's a shame. I then have a sweet potato that we already had, and an additional sweet potato that I have just locally sourced. I also have an alcohol-free beer because a Sunday night steak would be an occasion that would usually call for a beer in most circumstances, but I am not currently drinking, and have barely drank, in fact, for most of 2025. So let me know if you want a more specific video on exactly that in the comments down below. But I really do like having these stocked in the fridge for the ceremony of a beer without the alcohol-ic element. I delivered that weirdly. Anyway, let's get this cooked. Okay, what a delightful early dinner we have here. I say we, it's just me. Erin is frantically packing before she heads out for dinner with some friends, hence why I'm having a solo steak with some sparkling water. So I'm back at my makeshift laptop stand from earlier. That is like the fourth or fifth speaking mistake I've made in this video thus far today. Something is clearly afoot. Let's hope it's not
anything to do with the flavour of this steak. Excellent. Calories and macros on the screen for you just here. Totals for the day thus far here as well. This won't be my last meal of the evening. Well, it'll be the last meal. I've got some more food planned in for later on, which I will take you along for the ride for. But yeah, generally when I've got a bit more time over the weekends, I do enjoy using that time to cook some stuff that's a little bit more made with love and passion, shall we say, rather than very much opting for convenience most of the time during the week. Has it actually just started raining again? Seriously, that won't last long. That won't last long. We've already had to dry the dogs once today. I don't want to have to do it again. But yeah, I'm very, very much convenience and routine driven during the week with my food for the most part. But over the weekends, a bit more variety, a bit more cooking, a bit more, what do I feel like? Let's pull it together. Let's go and get the ingredients, etc. So very pleased today. That is what I've done.
I forgot about this and left it in for way too long, so this may be disappointing now. I'm sorry. It's okay. Okay, final meal of the day. I have 450 grams of Greek yogurt with 30 grams of oats, 25 grams of Options low-calorie hot chocolate, a punnet of raspberries, and some agave syrup that I've put in as honey in the information. Just here, totaling macros for the day, calories for the day, also just here, but this will be the last thing that I consume this evening. It is just gone 8 PM and we are just mapping out journey timings tomorrow. I've got a call at 9:30, so trying to get the optimal service station work set. I can probably get this out of the frame now, sorry. And going from there. Early night, because we'll be up and gone just before 6, so want to make sure that I'm feeling as fresh as possible. I'm going to consume this. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you do have any questions, please do drop them in the comments down below. Please do make sure to check out the links in the description that I've referenced as we've gone, and like the video whilst you're in the vicinity if I haven't said that already. Either way, I'm reinforcing it. Subscribe whilst you're in the vicinity and ding that little bell icon. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'm going to enjoy this. Goodbye.